You alright?
Yeah.
The story goes that Reed Hastings started Netflix with a second-hand Patsy Cline CD and a 32-cent stamp. That simple test of CDs in the US mail would turn into a business worth around £120 billion and with more than 150 million subscribers across the world.
You upset quite a few people today, didn't you, Ray?
How?
But the company that transformed the world of online streaming is facing new threats as companies like NBC, Apple and Disney compete to launch their own Netflix killer.
I struggle to think of a moment in history where
Fresh from speaking to the Royal Television Society, I sat down with Reed Hastings for an exclusive broadcast interview. I started by asking him if they were going to make more British shows for a UK and global audience.
Yeah, we're growing our British content development tremendously. It was over £400 million this year. We'll grow next year. So
By
there's
how
just
much?
so many. We're not sure yet, but it'll definitely be bigger than 400 million.
Because of course Netflix now faces incredibly stiff competition from other streamers. You know, we already know that we've got Apple TV starting on the 1st of November. You've got Peacock, which is NBC Universal's announcement. There's going to be 8 at least. It's a crowded market for consumers.
It is, so much choices. But Netflix, we've got a long history of just focusing on our members, figuring out new types of content to do. When you look at how different Sex Education is, or End of the Effin' World, or Black Mirror, we've got just enormous variety.
Yes, but you're either eating or you're on the menu, and when there's 8 of you, not all 8 of you, and perhaps more, are going to survive. You know, you are quite vulnerable. Everybody's vulnerable. You've got a slight head start, but the others are coming behind you with wads of cash.
You know, in your eat or be eaten metaphor, we're serving the dinner. You know, we're kind of focused on our member. We'll do the dishes. If we make our members happy, then we grow. It's that simple.
Traditionally, Netflix has been an almost omerta organization, incredibly secretive. And, you know, people want to know how shows are doing. People want to build a conversation around shows. People want a kind of excitement. And hitherto, that's been very difficult to get from Netflix.
It has, and we're changing. So now in the UK, we're testing a top 10. We release top 10 each week online. And then in the product, you can see what are the top 10 movies, top 10 series that's updated every day. And then we're giving hard numbers to the producers so that those who make a show can know how it's doing.
And does that also mean, the corollary of that, is that you're going to also release figures for your worst performing shows?
You know, in our worst performing shows, sometimes we love them artistically, so we tend to be kind of protective about them. We don't want them labeled. So we don't have a bottom 10, we only have a top 10.
So let's just do very quickly some figures. You know, at the moment, in the Financial Times says, in debt, 10.4 billion long term, 19 billion obligations, 2.5 billion unknown spending. That is $32 billion. And for the first time in July, more recently, you lost subscribers. You cannot lose subscribers, can you?
We've been growing every quarter. We're now over 150 million subscribers.
You need to be 250, don't you?
We certainly hope so. And the way we do that is to please our members. We are spending a lot. We are taking on debt to do that. And that's been great for us for the last 10 years. I think it will be great for us for the next 10 years.
But imagine the 1st of November, Apple TV comes on with huge pockets because of all the revenues from iPhones and so forth. You've also the licensing withdrawn when other streamers have taken it back, like Friends, for example, the American edition of The Office. That is a huge threat to you.
It can be, but we've seen many threats over a long time. And back when we started, when we remade House of Cards, and that was when we really started to do our own content. We've been building up towards this moment because we knew NBC eventually and HBO would be direct to the customer. So we have to do an incredible job, continue to earn membership satisfaction every day.
But you've also got a situation where Apple are going to come in with whatever it is. I think it's $5.99, but if you're buying an iPhone or if you're buying an iPad, it's free for the first year. You have nothing to compete with that except content.
Yeah, when you say accept content, that is the
Well,
whole
yeah,
thing.
but you're having to pile it on.
We're doing a great job on our content, so we have the crown and nobody else does. And that's the essence of why people love Netflix.